This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, very good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're joining. Welcome to today's session. So I'll be your instructor for the day. My name is Cyril. We have been introduced yesterday, right? So today's session basically will be a continuation or day one session from what we had already discussed yesterday. So if you remember yesterday, we mostly covered on how to what will be the course outlay and what to expect from this course, right? So if you remember, we had module one specifically focused for the language that will be in discussion today, that is TypeScript, right? Because we will be using TypeScript Playwright with TypeScript as language. Okay, so please provide me a vocal confirmation if you see my presentation coming up on the screen and if my audio is also audible for every one of you. So you can confirm by saying
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
yeah, yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So both my screen and my audio is visible, right?
Yes.
Okay, at any given point of time, if you feel my audio is getting a bit low or if you're not able to view the screen, please do let me know. Okay. So just a quick recap on the course duration. I'm just highlighting on that for now. So course duration will be for 35 hours of learning online live session. So I'm planning for 5 sessions per week, Monday to Friday, right? So 7 weeks will be our total time. Each session will be approximately 60 minutes, more or less, right? Mostly more. And also the way I have designed this course is like you would have some miniature assignments, not necessarily after each session, but I would make sure if some topics are a bit difficult to understand, you would have some assignments to also do it on your own. And also I'm expecting a final mini project that each one of you would be completing, of course, with the help of the knowledge that you have gained from the 35 hours of lecture, right? Creating your own mini kind of framework, right? So that would give you the hands-on experience, knowledge, and confidence to really deal with. Okay, so this is something I wish that all of you would be paying attention to. So one is focusing on the assignments that have been shared with you, right? Maybe on a daily or a weekly basis based on the topics that we are covering, and also providing this final project, right? So this can be published into GitHub, right? I will be walking you through each of how to set up GitHub. It will be like a complete end-to-end automation task that you will be doing. So you will be also getting familiar with how to maintain your code repositories in GitHub as well. So on GitHub branching strategy, I will be providing a very basic level of understanding on how you can create branches to work on different features that you want to create in your automation framework. Okay? But that would happen at the very end of the course. I mean, almost at the end of the course, once you have basic knowledge on how to create and write scripts using Playwright with TypeScript. So as we discussed, the first demo, I mean the first module that you'll be having will be focusing on the language TypeScript, right? So the learning objectives of these sessions are like you understand what TypeScript is and why it is useful. And as a demo, I will also help you out how you can create a development environment. Okay. So even before starting with TypeScript, we would actually begin with JavaScript first for basic few lessons, and then I will show you the drawbacks of JavaScript and then introduce you to TypeScript. Okay, and you will also come to understand that TypeScript is not a new language. Okay, this is an enhanced language from JavaScript. Okay, so just consider this image that you see on the screen. So you have JavaScript in the yellow ball, right? And TypeScript is something that is created on top of JavaScript, right? So in another way, you can also say that TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript, right? It was developed by Microsoft, right? What does it do? It adds static typing and other features to JavaScript. Okay. We will talk about that when we practically write JavaScript code so that you understand what static typing is, right? And what are the other features that it is adding to JavaScript. So you can say like, JavaScript was a language. Say, you know how to speak in English, right? But if you lack some grammar, some verbs, right, it still makes sense, but it introduces some level of ambiguity, right? And if you structure that language around it, right, then it makes more sense to people. Sense in terms of programming, I'm saying. I'm not talking about the daily conversations that we're having, but for programming, and it reduces that ambiguity. So we said by the image definition itself, you will find that JavaScript is sitting over here, right? And on top of that, TypeScript has been created, right? So our first definition lies very much intact to this image itself, suggesting that it is a superset of JavaScript, right? So TypeScript itself is built on JavaScript. So people have this confusion. If I learn TypeScript, uh, is it a different language? Because they always confuse with TypeScript being a completely different language. So it is not a completely different language. It is something built upon JavaScript. So you can say that the base library of TypeScript was JavaScript. Okay. Same way when you develop a framework, you say like I have developed a framework on Playwright. So Playwright becomes your base language, and on top of that, you have created your page object model framework or BDD framework, right? So your library remains the same, right? So it is how it has been built. Okay. Static typing basically, when you talk about static typing, right? So JavaScript by default doesn't have a type system. So what do you mean by type, right? Just think it of in this way. If you have some familiarization with Java, you would find that whenever we define an variable, we also define what is the type of that variable, right? Just for an example, if you want to suggest someone's name, right? So my name is Cyril, okay? So this is my name, right? As this is a name, this is of type string, right? This is of type string, right? Suppose if you want to define my age, okay, say I'm 25, okay, then this becomes a number, okay, of type number. So tomorrow no one can change the type of my age to 25 providing a string, right? So if 25, again someone provides 25, okay, okay. So again, someone tries to provide an age as 25 with string in double quotes. That would not be accepted in Java, right? And that's why Java becomes so powerful, right? JavaScript was introduced in a way to create more flexibility, right, in terms of type, right? And later TypeScript was created on top of JavaScript to provide some kind of type naming to JavaScript. Okay. So the topic that we'll be discussing right now will be what is TypeScript and why we use it, right? Definition of TypeScript we have already covered, right? Some key differences that I have just added at a very niche level is the static typing that we discussed, correct? And why use TypeScript in the sense is like it has several advantages that JavaScript does not have. So one is static typing, correct? Then the second is like it improves the developer's productivity. So even when you're writing a piece of code, right, if you are defining it and refactoring it at very early stages, right, you can detect abnormalities very early during the software development lifecycle itself, right? So even developers who are now working on front-end development have been using React JS, right? And top of that, they have been using TypeScript as language to provide some definitions to their code. Okay. So this is how one way you can even think of what JavaScript is. Okay. So JavaScript is the language of the web, right? So in the web browser, if you find all our actions are actually written in JavaScript, right? So you find JavaScript everywhere. Okay. So yeah, what is the main advantage in terms of JavaScript is like the very big reason why JavaScript was introduced was because JavaScript provides you the flexibility, right? We can see this in action. Okay, once I show you how you can do your environment setup, and we can see this in action. Okay, and the disadvantage of JavaScript is the same thing, that it is too flexible. Okay, so JavaScript lets you write things that not make sense, but only tells you when there is a problem when you run a code. Okay, so the thing is, like, when you're writing the code in JavaScript, there is no compile time error shown on the IDE, right? But once you run the code, you see, oh, I just missed this part. Okay, and actually, from a development point of view, that becomes a day-to-day headache for every one of us. Okay, so just as we introduced in terms of language, right? You take a language, you add some spell checker, you add some grammar to it, the language becomes better, right? So TypeScript is doing the same thing over here. So just imagine a tool that could check your code before it runs, okay, like spell checker, but for programming. So that's what is mentioned over here. I just took an example of adding grammar to a language. Similarly, you can say that you're adding some kind of checks before your programs actually runs. Okay, and that's where TypeScript comes in picture. Okay, so just remember this part. Okay, that TypeScript is nothing but JavaScript, right? It is built on JavaScript. So basically, TypeScript fundamentally is JavaScript only. Okay, so but there is a way of writing a JavaScript file that way it becomes a TypeScript file. Okay, so the thing is, if you know 90% of JavaScript, rest 10-15% is the extra TypeScript that you may have to be aware of. And the same follows vice versa. So when I will be teaching you course on TypeScript, I will also start the course with JavaScript, and then defining some potholes or loops, loopholes that are there in JavaScript, and how you can correct with TypeScript. Okay, so by this 7 hours of session, for the entire duration of learning the language, you would be aware of both these languages. Okay, so don't have that mindset whether if you're learning a new language, it is not a new language. There was already a language that you might already know, and now you are just learning a little bit features that are available on that language. Okay, and TypeScript is now getting widely recognized from past few years now, especially in development community as well, for development purposes. Okay, so JavaScript and TypeScript both of them have some advantages and disadvantages in terms of what is being required. Okay, so that was TypeScript for you for now. Okay, we covered the theoretical part of how you can what TypeScript basically is, right? So when we'll cover the practical part of it, you will also find more explanation of that things are making more sense now. Okay, so as a prerequisite to this course, right, I had mentioned, like, the first thing that you need to have is an IDE, right? Like a development environment, integrated development environment. For this course, you will be following the Visual Studio Code. If students have not installed Visual Studio Code, you can utilize this time to install Visual Studio Code. So we are starting from very scratch. Okay. So very beginners can just follow along with me. You can just go to your google.com. Okay. So if I go to my google.com and just search for Visual Studio Code download. Okay, please follow along. You will find the first website that you see, that is the official website for Visual Studio Code, right? I prefer Visual Studio Code over Visual Studio because Visual Studio Code is more lightweight, and more manageable, right? So that's why I always prefer the Visual Studio Code. So once you go to this website that you see it on my screen, is my screen visible to all of you? My Google that I'm sharing, the browser.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So beginners and who want to just get started, right? Please do this activity. So once you're on the screen, you will find two options. There are four options. Okay, I don't think anyone is using Linux over here. Most of the users will be on Windows user, I believe. So you can click on this option, right? And if you're a Mac user, you can click on this option. Okay, so if you haven't installed it, please do that right away. Okay, once you click on the download button, the download will start automatically for you and you can see it in the download section, right? I have already downloaded it and it is available in my system, so I'll be utilizing the same. For this session purpose, I'm just showing you how you can download it at your end. Okay, just a quick check. If it is not getting automatically downloaded, you have an option to do that manually by clicking on this link as well. Okay, so please utilize some of this time to do that. We are actually getting started on how you can actually do your setup from your end. Okay, so that's why this session becomes kind of important session because this is where your environment will be set. Yeah. Anyone has any questions on that?
Yes, Erin. I already got the VS Code installed on my system, but I use that for doing the JavaScript coding. I
Okay.
was working on it earlier, but I don't
Uh,
have this TypeScript. Do I have to make
yeah,
any change?
no, you don't have to make any changes. You can use the same VS Code. So VS Code is your IDE. So now we have just discovered like what ID now we need to use. When it comes to TypeScript, I will help you out. So TypeScript,
Okay.
I will slowly introduce you to TypeScript. So I will start with JavaScript fundamentals, pinpoint its pain points, and then you can use the same project that you have. No changes required there.
Okay. So the installation point of view, there's nothing I have to do now, right?
As of now, nothing you have to do because I believe you have VS Code and you're using JS, so you have Node.js. I will
Yes.
come to the second part now. Okay. So, if students, if you have already installed VS Code, the second part of the requirement is like you need Java to run Java programs, correct? Or you need Python, Anaconda, I believe, to run Python programs, right? Similarly, to run any JS programs, TypeScript also being JS, okay? So don't think like TypeScript is something else. To even run TypeScript, you need Node.js itself at a primary level, okay? Because TypeScript in the background compile itself to JavaScript, okay? So the second part of the exercise would be to install Node.js, okay? And how do you install Node.js? Let me reshare my presentation again, and I would be doing the same thing for you again, okay? So the first part we have already covered, that is installing the VS Code. After installing the VS Code, just open that .exe file and that would start installing VS Code in your local machine. Okay, it would take around 5 to 10 minutes. Please do that activity. The second step will be to install node.js, right? And this is the link provided. Okay, what you can simply do is you can go to your Chrome or any browser and simply search for node.js. Okay, node.js download, then node.js download. Okay, and the first website that you see is their official website, which is nodejs.org. Okay, so once you click on download node.js, you find this kind of interface. Okay. Here only one thing I want to highlight, like you have different versions of node.js available to you. Okay, so for demo purpose you can install the latest version. Okay, that doesn't mean that you install the current version. Okay, always go with the LTS version. So if you're not familiar with LTS, LTS is basically long-term support. Okay, So it's a good practice that whenever you download any softwares, you always go with the LTS version of that software. Okay. So the current version is 22.17.1, right? And there is a Windows installer .msi file that is available for you. You can install using that option, correct? Or you can change to Mac OS if you're on Mac OS. Okay. Just a quick recap. Just wanted to know if any one of you are on Mac or something. Can you let me know, because I always keep on highlighting both these options. Is there anyone who is on Mac, who is using Mac for now for this session? Okay, so I think I do not see any here in answer. So
Yes, I'm
I
using Mac.
you are okay. Then for you the option would be you may have to select Mac and proceed with that option. Just wanted to highlight. So only one user here with Mac user. I think most of them are on Windows, I believe. Okay. Or you can even change it from here. Okay. So for Windows, you can change it to Mac and you can install using the command line itself. Okay. Do you want me to do this along with you? It's a direct install and save purpose, so you can do it on your own. I have already installed Node.js, right? And I can also show you, if you have installed Node.js, how you can check whether Node.js is installed on your machine or not. Okay, so we can even check that. So let me go back to my presentation. So we are going with the setup, so that's why I'm taking my time so that everyone onboards successfully, right? Because once the development environment is set, then we won't be coming back to do this activity each time. Okay. So that's why I'm just focusing on it. So we installed VS Code. The second point is that we installed the Node.js from the official website, correct? And now we want to verify our installations. Okay, so to verify whether Node is installed in your machine, simply what you can do is you can open your command prompt for now. You can do it from a VS Code also to cross check. Okay, let me just show you from my command prompt, and you can simply write node hyphen node space hyphen v, right? So this should basically show you what version of Node.js is installed in your machine. Okay. So I am running one step behind the LTS version, that is still fine. Okay. So the current version that I'm using is 22.16. Okay. So I can just update for time being, just to showcase you that we'll be now moving to 22.17. Okay. So I am doing the same as I've installed the installer from the official website, and in my download section this will be available for me, and I would go ahead and install this for now. Okay, so basically this should have replaced my current version and replaced with the version that is getting installed right now, so it may take a few minutes. So you can just follow along the same thing, download, open this, right? You will find a wizard getting open for Node.js. Just accept the terms and condition, and it is installing the same location C program files, no problem. And next. I am not going with this chocolatey option for now, so I will just click on next and I will perform install. So if you have access to a computer with admin rights, then only you would be able to install your software application. So make sure that you open this with admin rights if you are using a different user. So students also please utilize this time to have these downloads getting ready in a background. Someone who is an absolute beginner can use this time to set up VS Code and now Node.js as well. Okay. So I have done the same thing, so it will hardly take the time that I took over here. Okay. So I believe now Node.js is installed. So if I do not close the command prompt and run again, it will. Okay. So now you can see the updated version is showing as 22.17.1. So we have installed this particular version, right? And so we are able to verify the same as suggested by them. You can also do one more thing as of now. So with Node, there also comes a package called npm, which is the Node package manager. Okay, so you can even check what version of Node package manager is available to you. Any version about 10 is fine. We have 11.3.0, so we are good to go in that aspect as well. Okay, so you can just confirm whether you have installed Node and npm in your local machine by running these two commands that are available in your screen. Okay, is the command prompt visible to you as I'm sharing it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. So we have installed VS Code. Second point, we have installed Node.js, so we can run all the programs that would internally compile to JS, TypeScript being the same, right? So one more thing that you may have to do is now you have installed Node.js and also npm. So I was focusing on npm because now we'll be highly or mostly using npm, which is the Node package manager, to install our different modules that are required for TypeScript. Okay, so now we are moving on to how we can install TypeScript using Node Package Manager. Okay, so the command is again very simple: npm install TypeScript. Hyphen G indicates that you are installing TypeScript in your machine locally, sorry, globally. Okay, so there are two ways you can install software if you already know. One is at an user level, the second is at global level. So you at user level, only the user that has logged in that session will have access to that software. Global level, anyone has access to that machine can access to the software. Okay, the same thing that we are going to do here. Okay, normally if you do not remember the CLI commands, even I do not, right? What I generally like to follow is like you can simply use Google to search TypeScript download, right? Download, yeah, and you would be finding the first TypeScript official website itself, which is typescript.org, right? And it will show you how to set up TypeScript, correct? And if you scroll down, if you see TypeScript in your project, you can install TypeScript via npm. That is what we are going to do, right? That is Node Package Manager. So you will need a copy of Node.js as an environment. We already have that. We also verified we have npm, which is the package manager to install all your Node related libraries, right? So this is the command over here. So this command allows you to install TypeScript and it saves it in a dev environment. Okay, so I will show that when we initialize a package, a project first. Okay, and the hyphen G command is to install it globally. Okay, so let me also follow along with you. So let me just open my command prompt and simply write npm install -g for global and type TypeScript. Okay, so people who are already working on JavaScript, you might not have done this part, so please do this part, that is installing TypeScript. Going with the global option for now. You can even do it in at package level. I can show you that later. So this is how you can install TypeScript, right? Now I just told you like the TypeScript files that are getting created will be with extension .ts, right? So the file name will be something like just an example. Say you create a file with say session 1. So if you want to define it as TypeScript, the extension will be .ts, right? But in background, I told you TypeScript file also compiles into JavaScript, right? So you need a TypeScript node as well, and also a TypeScript compiler version, right? So TS node is something that would help you to compile TypeScript when you want to run TypeScript file also. So you can install one more thing, which is the TS node, which is the TypeScript node, and the command to install TypeScript node will be npm install installing globally -g, right? And then installing ts node. So go ahead and install ts node. Okay. So follow along and yeah, yes.
Silly. So do I have to do both of these, execute these two commands?
Yeah, you can do this for now because I can also show you. This is basically an exercise to show you that TypeScript is JavaScript basically. So that's why I want you to also install this compiler as well for now.
So now I should do, because you said you asked me to wait, right? So I'm doing it now then.
Yeah, yeah, you can do it now.
Okay.
So you can first start by installing TypeScript
Yeah.
using this command, and then start by installing the compiler to compile TypeScript, which is TS node. Okay, so we have installed TypeScript and the compiler as well. Once the installation is done, you can also verify whether that installation
I
has been
I
successful.
got error. It is coming when you want to install npm install -g TypeScript. I'm getting
Uh,
npm error code e corner set npm error. This call read like that. I got that type of the errors.
okay, so it might be that Node Package Manager is not getting recognized by your machine. So are you seeing npm space hyphen version and some version that is shown to you?
Yeah, version is coming. Yeah, version is coming.
Okay, but the npm command is not running, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes it happens if you are on command prompt and the permissions are not available to you. You can also use the option with a different CLI, which is PowerShell.
that is the power terminal mode you are telling. Terminal mode you
Yeah,
are talking about.
terminal mode. You can change the terminal from command prompt to some other terminal and run the same command with npm space install and just try it out.
Yeah, because I got this type of the error. I was trying on the terminal also. I'm not able to run those commands.
Okay. Just try it out again. Maybe you have installed Node.js for the first time. So you may sometime have to restart your local machine. Do that after this class. That might be one possible reason. I'm not really sure why npm is not getting recognized in your particular machine for now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, for that we need to any specific privileges is required to install TypeScript, any configuration or any registry we need to store here.
As of now, no. I mean, I'm not sure depending on your machine. So that's why even when you're installing Node.js, make sure you install with an admin rights. So if you're using a personal laptop, that shouldn't be an issue. But I've seen
Company laptop. I'm using company
yeah,
laptop.
yeah, company laptops have this problem. So you can do one thing. NPM is not getting recognized, right? You can skip this two part, right? And once we install VS Code, from VS Code, I can just show you how you can set up TypeScript at your workspace level. Okay, so that might be an issue because your company doesn't allow you to install software at global level, right? So that might be the reason. I mean, that is the reason. It's a privilege-based reason, is what I'm guessing
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Fine.
And one more question I have. So for the Copilot, will be any linked this one to install the software? If the Copilot is any linking this software?
Copilot as of now is not interacting with Node.js directly, right? Copilot interacts with your IDE. So your IDE being VS Code, right? In VS Code, you have an extension for installing Copilot. Only if you enable that extension, which is I think GitHub Copilot, that is the extension name. I can just show you for now. Sorry guys, just distracting for a moment here. So you can just search for GitHub or Git Copilot. Okay. Only if you have this extension installed in your VS Code, then only the integration of VS Code with Copilot is achieved. So as of now, I haven't installed it. Okay, once I do that, you can see a Copilot chat available for me right away. So
Okay,
right
got it.
now, Copilot is now not interacting with the installations that you have done so far. It
Okay,
has
no
not
problem. Thank
configured it.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Yeah.
So, people who are following along, if you have installed TS Node, right, you can also check the version of TS Node that is installed in your machine. The command will be very much similar to what we have done so far. You can simply write ts-node and check the version of that. Okay, so 10.9.2 is the same thing that you're seeing. Okay, so this is how you can install and also verify the installations are successful in on your local machine or not. Okay, so I think with this we have achieved two of our goals. So the first goal was to create a download an ID that would be required to read and run our code. The second part was to install all required language supporting libraries. In our case, it was Node.js first, and after Node.js, you get the ability to access the npm, which is Node Package Manager, and using the ability of Node Package Manager, you can install TypeScript. Okay, so I hope most of you who are working on their using this session from your personal laptop would have been able to achieve this. People with office laptop will have privilege related issues when it comes to software installation. I can show them how we can do that when we really get started with JavaScript. Right. So I guess just let me know if you have any issues with installations or anything. Okay. As an exercise, right? I just wanted to highlight one more thing. I would be also introducing you to GitHub workflow and how to start with branching strategies and everything, and also sharing code if when and where required, right? So I also want you guys to install Git in your local machine. Okay. So the next agenda is to install Git, right? So Git is a command line with which you can use to push your code to GitHub, right? So just type git download on your Windows. If you see, I have just typed git download, and the first website that you see, that is git-scm.com download section. If you click on that, this is the Git view that you see, right? And you can download the latest version of Git, that is 2.50.1 for your Windows, right? This will be auto detected. Okay, so Mac user, you will find that automatically you will find the version of related to your Mac machine showing over here. So you can go ahead and download this version. Okay, automatically did not start, so I will click here to download. Okay, and with this, so we are not using Git for today, but for the entire session we will be making use of Git as well, to show you some CI/CD pipelines and to move your code to GitHub, right? So you would require Git in that case. So please go ahead and download Git as well. If Git is already installed in your machine, you can ignore this part for now. Okay. The same thing you can do. The exe file is getting downloaded. You can open that file and start with the installations. Okay, I hope I don't have to show you that. It's the same thing how I can show you when installing any other software, right? So for now, you can avoid that part. Okay, so make sure you have also downloaded Git as well. After downloading, please go ahead and install Git if you haven't done that. Okay, so let us start with our first session, practical session now. We have everything ready, is what I believe. We have our ID, we have Node.js language, right? So now we can actually get started with a little bit fundamentals of JavaScript. We can at least write the first program using the JavaScript file itself, right? and I can just show you. So the topics that I wish to cover with JavaScript fundamentals will be first writing a very simple program using the console.log output. Then we'll be talking about variables, constants, data types, objects, arrays, and how to use equality and comparison operators, right? A very basic level. And then we can move on to loops, functions, and then introducing you to the same part using TypeScript, right? And uh, highlighting the differences of using TypeScript as well. Okay. So for this session, what we can basically do is you can go to the your project section. So basically, I write all my projects in my project directory. Okay. So here, what I can basically do is, for now, let me just remove this part. So this we had installed yesterday, if you remember, using Playwright, right? So now what we can do is I can just create a folder inside this. Okay. Please maintain a very common structure, right? Wherever it is feasible for you. In your C directory, you can also create a folder called projects, right? No need to mention July batch. Okay. So inside projects, you can just create a new folder for now. Okay. So we are getting started with JavaScript for now. So I am just showing you the first project that you can create using JavaScript. Okay. So let me just name this as day one for now. Okay. So day one being the JavaScript fundamentals that we'll be teaching for today. Right. And now you can open this day one folder from your VS Code as well. Right. To do that, what you can simply do is you can open VS Code. Okay, or you can simply search for your VS Code app. Okay, and from here on that there is a section called file that you see it over here. Okay, so let me just expand this for you. So inside the file section you have an option to open a folder, right? So please go ahead and use this option to open the folder, right? And move to the directory where you had saved that folder that we just created day one. Correct. So I'm just selecting this folder called day1 for now, and I'm clicking on open. Okay. So what this will do is it will open the workspace for me with the directory explorer being day1, right? And right now you see nothing is installed, nothing is available over here, right? And you can also make use of VS Code. So if you are not familiar with VS Code, I will just give you a quick tour on some of the important aspects of how to use VS Code. So file options we have used to open any folder, right? The second thing that now I want to introduce you to is the terminal, right? So just like you can open command from terminal separately as a window which is available to you, you can open terminal from your VS Code itself. Okay. So you can see there is an option called terminal available to you. Click on new terminal. Correct. You can see the path that is being shown is the correct path, which is day one project, right? So if you are on a different path, you may have to navigate and come to this part. Okay. The second part I wanted to highlight you is like now you have the project directory available to you. Now you can initialize a package using the npm init command. So to do that, I can just show you these two commands that are available to you. Okay. So let me just share my presentation back on. Okay. So we have done the installation part completely. The second part is initializing a TypeScript project. To initialize any TypeScript or JavaScript project, any project in using the npm manager, you can use the command called npm init, right? And that's how you will be seeing what would happen here. So let me just type npm init for now, and you will see what would happen in my workspace. Okay. So as soon as I create npm init, click on enter. You see there is some error coming up over here. Is why? Because we missed the command of -y. Okay, so -y will actually help you to install that using a package or JSON file. Okay. So if I write -y, right, it does not ask me what should be the package name, as I am manually initializing Node Package Manager. It is asking me what should be the package name. By default, if you see, it has taken the name day1. That is the name of the folder itself. So I would go ahead and with that option for now. So let me click enter. Version, okay, you can just follow along. You can just click on next. Okay, it is just asking you're creating this package, what is the description that you need to add. For now I'm not adding any description, so I will just go ahead. And the entry point, it is mentioning as index.js for this program. I would still go ahead for the same. Test command, nothing extra to be mentioned. The git repo also nothing to be mentioned. Nothing to be mentioned. Author, nothing to be mentioned. And so this is how you see that I have not overwritten anything. So that's why the package name is day1. Version whatever was shown, I went with the same option. So nothing changes there, and it is just asking for the confirmation. Is this okay for now? I say yes, right? And with this, you see that package or JSON file is now getting created in your work directory. Okay. We will talk about more about package or JSON when we install different packages and dependencies, right? So for now, just see that you see a package or JSON file that is getting installed with values more or less similar to what has been seen on your screen. Okay.
Still, I'm getting error while doing npm init. It says file cannot be loaded because running scripts is disabled on the system.
Yeah. So you also have the same issue what one of our other colleague had. So running script is disabled simply means that you as an user, are you using an office laptop?
No, I'm using personal laptop.
Okay. Just see why you do not have the privileges to use npm init. Okay. Or another thing that you can do is like you can change the terminal, right? So by default you will be on command prompt, right? You can change it to PowerShell as the terminal. You see this option that is highlighted to you on the left hand side. Let me just show this option to all of you guys for now. So on the terminal, you see the plus button, right? This would help you to create a new terminal. Also, there is a drop down option available. So you can open a terminal with different option. Command prompt might be your default terminal. You can use the PowerShell option and run the same command again. So just check whether PowerShell is able to run with npm with permission. Okay, if even that does not work, you have git bash option available to you. So if you have installed git, right, you would have git bash option also
Okay.
available to you. So you can use that option and try the same command again.
Yeah, let me try from Git.
Yeah, use the git bash. So I prefer git bash, so I am currently on git bash. So please, you can also use this same option. Okay. So now coming to the package or JSON section, just wanted to highlight something. So you have different key values over here. You have author, right? You also have license. Then you have a section called script, right? Just below the section called script, you can also create a section called dependencies over here. Okay, and we will see that why this becomes important. Okay, so you can just think it of in this way. If you have used some other projects like maven or gradle, right, that becomes your module handler, right? So in this case my module handler is my node package manager. So here I can mention my dependencies for this project, right? And also I can mention my development related dependencies for this project. Okay, this more or less acts as the same way, right? So this dependencies you can, I'm just showing you the tag for now because anytime next time when you make an installation in this workspace with the command called save dependencies, you will find that those things will be getting added over here. Okay, we'll come back to this topic again, so nothing really to be worried about here. Okay, and now what we can do is once we have package.json installed, okay, I can create a new file in my workspace, right? Let me create a new file over here. Just give me a minute. My VS Code got stuck. Hello guys, are you still there? Am I audible?
Yeah.
My screen is
Yeah.
visible here.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, for some reason my VS Code got stuck. That is strange. My machine has got stuck for now. Okay, so let me just tell you what you can do for now. You can create a new file, say lesson1 or session1.js file. Okay, and just give me a minute. Huh? Just okay. I think we are also at almost at the end. So sorry for this very unfamiliar inconvenience that is been caused right now. My machine being totally stuck for now. I think due to overheating or something. So just go ahead, guys. What you can basically do is I'm not able to do anything on my laptop for now. You can create a file, say session1, okay, with the extension .js, right? Once you have done that, inside the file, just type a very simple command, which is console.log, right? And inside that log, right, you can provide in double quotes any text. Say this is my first JS program, correct? And to run the same, you can make use of node, correct? And with node you can make run it. Okay, so how, okay, or else I can show it in my coming up lessons how you can run it. Okay, but the command is very much simple. You can just make use of node to run it. So you can simply type node space the file name. So if your file name is session1.js, your command line command will be node space session1.js. Click enter. So whatever you have mentioned inside your console log output, that is your log output. So that's why it is known as console log. And the same log output you can see it in a terminal as well. So that is your first uh, program for today. Very basic. Someone who has not started, it's for them, for just to get started. Okay. So I think we are almost at the end of the session. So we can have some questions related to queries that we have so far. We are just getting started, so we have just covered very initial part of the JS fundamentals. Okay, so from tomorrow we can have more details to be shared on how to clear concepts on JavaScript and then followed by TypeScript. So, any questions so far?
So the compiling command is node lesson1.js.
Yeah, with Node you have to provide a space.
I gave space, but I'm not seeing the console log statement.
Okay, a Node space and then the file name that you have mentioned.
Yeah.
So is
Oh, okay.
Node?
Let me save it
Yeah,
first. Yeah,
yeah, you might have not saved it. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not saved it. Yes. Yeah. It's good.
Okay, great. So it's a very simple exercise. Okay, just to give you some hands-on confidence to get started, I just followed these steps for now. Okay. Any other questions with respect to the course and how we would be taking up our sessions? And let me know what feedback do you have as of now. Okay. And let me know your queries with respect to the course duration aspect or the learning aspect, right? And also the pace, right? So my like I have created this space in such a way that we like I know that some of them, for them it will be a little slower approach, but we have people who are just getting started, so to accommodate them as well, the approach is taken. So the initial part, even though if you might feel it very slower, once we catch up to things, right, we might take up a little bit speed based on how the audience is recepting to the learning, because that is the end goal, like how you are able to digest and continue with this learning journey. So okay then, so do you have any questions for me, anyone, with respect to whatever we have discussed so far, and anything related to the coming up topics or overall approach? Please let me know your thoughts. Quite strange thing happened, right? It got stuck in middle of nowhere. My machine is completely stuck, and if I cannot restart it, because then I would lose the call. That's why I'm just waiting.
Yeah, I think we can continue tomorrow.
Okay. So great to have you guys today, and you guys have a nice day.
You too. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, dear friend. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.